a rare treat. I am not a public speaker. I'm not a professional at this, so I apologize right off the bat. What I am is a video rep. Really good going out, evaluating your livestock, telling you what I think of them for quality, and get them sold for you. And I want to point out a few things. And I got set through a few sessions yesterday and today, and I probably got some off-the-wall comments. My son Tony is going to try to keep me going through the technical stuff to keep me on line here. That's us. I'm a rancher, and you can read that bio. We raise cattle, and I started marketing cattle with this company 20 years ago, I guess, and had the opportunity to become a representative with them. And I guess I got 2 full-time jobs. I'm pretty busy. Running the cattle and being a cattle broker takes a lot of time. And I've probably seen some pitfalls for people. I've probably made some of my own pitfalls. But it's interesting listening to people through things. I think I can help you with something, and that's marketing. And go to the next slide there, Tom. What are fed cattle bringing today, anybody? I should cover this up. Fed cattle. Not feeder cattle, fed cattle. How many people know that? How many in here would know that on a daily basis? 1, 2.
No,
look at
normally
it
not today.
Yeah. You know, I've been out working like crazy. Tony and I both have been. To be honest, I kind of fell behind on what the market's been doing too. And that's a big mistake. Part of my excuse is I've been away from home. I get on the computer and I can do this in about 2 minutes. I used to do that in the evening. I don't have a laptop. I don't have a smartphone, don't want one. Anyway, go to the next one. Price of corn. And I don't know how many of you follow that price of corn. I try to look at that every day. Don't try to make a big thing. Don't make a spreadsheet out of it on a computer. But I kind of know this. The real interesting thing is, you know, this is 2012 crop. It's 2013, and we heard somebody yesterday predict where corn's going to be at 565. That's their best guess. That was Bob with Farm Bureau, right? And they did a pretty big analysis of it. It was pretty interesting. It's important you know this. I don't care what the price is, but you need to know what it is, what the trend is. Is it up, down, or is it going up, or is it going down? This will all develop into your marketing plan. Go ahead. All right. When was corn at its highest? December. This past month. Not sure that's the right.
Is that last year?
2012.
It was 2012, yeah.
Anyway, the real big point. Is that another slide on there? The next one. I told you I wasn't a professional. I warned you. This here. This is summer corn prices. There we're going along here. Just a little over a year ago. Did I use a pointer? A little over a year ago, corn's way down here. You know, calves were selling up here. You guys remember what happened. I bet you anybody in here that has livestock that sold them was sitting in the middle of something. Nobody saw this coming. And who in here can tell me why this happened?
No.
Yep. We didn't have any control of that, did we? And it kept sneaking up on us, sneaking up on us. So we had $8 corn all of a sudden. And it drove our feeder cattle prices down. All right, but if you can go back about a year ago now, January, February, March, April, May, what were the feeder cattle doing on the Board of Trade? Up, 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 up. How many of you in here that have cattle looked at that and thought, man, they're just going to keep going higher and higher? Yeah? Did anybody fall for that trap? And this wrecked it, okay? But there were some really good marketing opportunities right here. And my progressive customers, and I'm one of them, I sold a bunch of cattle in March that we had, everything we had.
What'd you
On the
sell
video. Sold 9.5 weight yearling spayed heifers for $1.43. Sold our fall calves for May 1st delivery. Steers weighing 625 pounds, brought $1.88. The lighter steers at $5.50 brought $1.98. It's a good market.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it was. I'm not patting myself on the back. The stars were aligned, we got her done. But the reason I was able to do that, and my customers, they were watching those first few slides. They see on the corn low, the feeder cattle futures was up at an unheard of level. Maybe they always sold in August or September with me or with somebody else. But they saw that bugger and said, let's sell them. They did. And you know what? They netted $100 to $200 more per head than the guys that fell in this trap. So I don't care how you market your cattle. If it's your local guy that's been buying them forever, video, go to the auction barn. Well, the auction barn is, you can't take advantage of this, but find a way to take advantage of what's going on after you know what's going on. Go ahead, Tony. How do you guys get your prices for calves? You hear what your neighbors sell for? Who does that? Who's that in here does that's the most common pricing mechanism? Surprised. Print media, who reads the newspaper? You do?
All of them.
Okay, all of them. Anybody else read the newspaper? And it's 2 days old time you get it. Yeah. Order, buyer, offer, recent sales, or local video. Okay. Today's a lot different world than it was. I'm going into it kicking and screaming. You know, there's ways to get information here, cell phone. It changes quick, a lot quicker than it used to. It's like that, you know, market trends. One rumor, I remember sitting in a big sale we had, found a mad cow. I didn't know at the time they found a mad cow. I could see the cattle selling, we're just going, psh, psh, psh. But it was one phone call, mad cow was confirmed, dropped to market 5 cents in 30 minutes. Right, Tony. When you guys decide to sell, I put a few up here I think are popular. When your order buyer calls, when the neighbor sells or contracts. Up where I live, used to be about 10 neighbors in an area. One guy sold, immediately he was on the phone telling his other neighbors, boom, they all folded kind of the same day. And you know what? It worked pretty good. They were pretty good, pretty aggressive sellers. They were in tune to what was going on around them. And they're all, I guess just say, guys older than me, old farts, did a good job. How many of you fell into this trap that the market's high, you know it's high, you call your order buyer and said, you know, the guys we've been selling those calves to, they're not ready. They don't want to bid on them. Has anybody fell into that? Okay, I've seen that a lot. And I think that's when you got to take those marketing plans in your own hands and do some of this here, okay? Good. Selling conditions, I threw for sale in there because of this recent drought. I hope it's in the history behind us, because it was a bugger to get through. A lot of people it was for sale. They sold them wherever they could. Okay, a lot of people selling directly off the cow. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if your calves weigh 550 to 650 pounds, probably a good time just to get them sold, hit a good market, send them right off the cow. Especially with the cost of hay, those kind of things right now. Most people wean and background calves on hay in my area. Probably down here you got a few other options. Weaning them, that's a good deal. I mean, most of the wean calves, if you compare them apples to apples, a wean steer weighing 650 will bring more than a on-wean steer bringing 650. I mean, you should get paid for your job there. Most times you will.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, there's some value-added programs. Traditional program, I think it's probably going by the wayside a little bit more in larger cattle operations in large ranching areas. I think this is pretty popular with the comment that came up yesterday that the average herd size is 40. Yeah. Those people are a huge part of the industry. They're running a few cattle. It's kind of to eat some grass they got. And they take the cattle to the sale barn when they run out of grass, I assume. I'm not around too many people like that. These are our southern cattle, I would say. They probably got horns, haven't been castrated, no shots. They raise them cheap, and people buy them cheap. What I deal with, I'm in southwestern Montana. We've got a real good reputation for high quality cattle and large numbers of them. Preconditioning program is pretty popular. I can't think of anybody that uses myself or any other video company or an internet program. Most of them, even that go to the sale barn, precondition those calves. And by preconditioning, I'm just saying some shots in them before they wean them. It enhances the value for the producer that's raising those cattle, because as everybody in here probably realizes, through the summer you get by pretty good. It's those fall nights and days that get you into trouble. September, October, it's cold and warm. You're going to start seeing some pneumonia in your calves that are still in the cow. I really think if you get those shots into them, it's going to save you some of that problem. So there's a value there too, as well as when you've sold those calves. Okay. A complete weaning program. Does everybody in here know what a VAC 45 is? It's called different things to different people. Don't know what it is? Okay. That calf has been weaned for 45 days prior to shipping. He's had a round of shots before he was pulled off the cow or the day he was pulled off the cow. Then he was reboostered again sometime in that 45 days. Okay.
Does that include bunk training or not?
In our company, it says bunk broke. Bunk broke can be for a couple days. I mean, if you keep them in while they're balling, they get a bunk to eat out of, that's good enough. When they get to the feedlot, they'll know how to drink out of the water trough and go find some feed in the fence line or wherever it is. Certified natural, deal with quite a few of those. Some of my bigger producers do it, and some of my smaller ones. Interesting, some of the comments you made one yesterday. You were an attorney, now you're ranching. Sometimes a smaller herd, this is pretty popular thing for you. It's something you strive for.
Yeah, we listened to Rod yesterday about that too.
Oh, did you? Okay. Certified natural, though, I want to point out, is different than non-hormone treated cattle. Non-hormone treated cattle are certified. It costs you from $300 to $800 to get them certified. They are age and source verified through an independent company. You can give them all the antibiotics you want. They just don't want any hormones in them. And they go to where? Europe. Europe. Yep. Yep. Huge market there. It's pretty good incentives.
Is that the implants you hear talking about?
Implants. Yep. Mm-hmm. There's a
Not
few
just
others.
ionophore.
If not an ionophore. If you synchronize heifers, give them like a cedar, or you give them a shot of prostaglandin, that's a hormone, and yeah. Certified natural is no antibiotics, no ionophores, and that's Bovatec or Rumensin. There's another one, I can't think of the name of it. And missing something here. But basically, no antibiotics and no hormones. Okay. You don't have to go get certified by an independent auditor for most circumstances for certified natural. You're usually just signing a sheet of paper. In our company, the buyer has the option. Say you sold 100 calves, You may have 2 or 3 in there that you doctored. You've got to be able to identify them. Buyer has the option. He can take the doctored ones if he wants, or he can leave them. So there is a pitfall there. If you get in a wreck weaning, and you're in a mass doctoring all those cattle, I've done that. They're not going to fit your sale contract you made. So out the door, it goes.
And pre-con vaccine, any vaccinations don't hold against that, right? I mean, still be certified natural vaccine.
Correct. Any vaccination. You know, I'm talking your virals, your 7-way. You can give them as many as you want. They want to see that. And where you can get in trouble too is, the smallest thing is powdered milk. You might have fed a bum calf. There's antibiotics in that. Not all of them, but most of them. And some of your lick tubs, there can be fish oil in there. They don't like seeing that in the natural programs.
What about if you're giving them detox in the feed?
Nope, not decox. Well, decox might be all right. There is a one for coxy. I can't think of the name of it. And it might be decox.
That's okay?
It is.
It's okay, but you can't, like a lot of people feed Rumensin or Bovatec as a coxy preventative. You're out of the natural program doing that.
What's the Rumensin? Why is it?
I thought it was an ionophore.
It is an ionophore, yes. You are correct. Feedlots feed it to promote, they get a little more gain if they feed a little bit of Rumensin, and it prevents coccidiosis. And they'll feed Rumensin to most of the cattle in the feedlots. Just a little additive in the feed.
Helps to
I
build
used
immunity.
it,
Yep.
I didn't know that
You didn't know it was what?
that it wasn't allowed
For the natural program?
the.
Yep. Some other things that can help you too is age and source verification. You can do it with electronic ear tag. Have your first birth date at least. Some of them like your last birth date. There's a lot of different companies that do it. Most of them are acceptable to the outfit I work for. It's not hard to do, but it does take a little extra effort and a few bucks for a tag for each calf. Good time to put it in is when you precondition. And a lot of you, if you're coming off the range, you get 80% of the cattle the first time, get them in, vaccinate them, put that tag in there. Those ones that dribble in, you'll know you didn't get them vaccinated because they won't have the tag. But as you handle them, hopefully you get them vaccinated before they go on the truck. Complete your sale. Anytime anybody wants to ask a question, and there's one, please do.
You can also, I have a lot of customers that actually put their age and source tags in at birth,
Yep, or branding.
so that they save themselves the cost of an extra tag. That doesn't mean they necessarily sell everything as age and source, because they'll retain some heifers, but
It's there.
they'll have that hurdle jumped through already before.
Yep, they've thought ahead, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've taken care of one
Less
piece of
stress.
this marketing wreck that you can get into. And, okay,
They use a panel tag though, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and for some protocols, panel tag is acceptable.
But it's,
Right.
they're really hard to retain,
Yeah.
panel tags.
especially a panel tag with an EID tag in it, the electronic tag, I guess they're miserable to retain. But you can always re-tag too for
Yeah,
have a few tags around.
or else just buy a few extra tags and use the same sequence of numbers.
Yes,
Can I ask you a question about
Sure.
the natural calves?
yes.
I mean, you're talking, this is an added value program.
Mhm.
With corn being $7 a bushel, are the natural calves still bringing a premium?
At times, yeah. But one thing I've seen with the natural is it depends on a lot of the market conditions, like you're talking about corn. If the guy that likes to feed natural calves, if he can get a contract that guarantees him a premium, then they're players. And if there's nothing out there on the table, the natural won't pay. Nice thing about it is if it's part of your normal operation anyway, it doesn't cost you a lot. I wouldn't switch over and quit using raw grow and go to a lot of work of not identifying your doctored animals to try to chase a somewhat elusive premium. I recommend it to my customers that maybe they're in a little different weather environment and maybe the calf leg weigh as normal protocol in the ranch. Those are the ones that go ahead and lock into this and put the emphasis on getting the premium. You can usually see it watching a video sale. You'll see them bring a little more money, especially if they've had all this stuff done. Another one is Progressive Genetics. Our company uses a little logo. It comes on the sale down here at the bottom. It'll mention the breeder you bought the bull from, or bulls, I should say. Gives it a little more push. One of my customers calls this the chrome bar at the bottom of our on our sales. That's all this added stuff. They got a little icon for every one of them. Like the chrome bar gets full, and you'll see the prices go up for a 6-weight calf or a 850-weight yearling. All right, let's go on. I think I'm boring these people to death anyway. Okay. One thing with selling with video, you need to have a semi-load. Now, the way you get to that, maybe it's two neighbors with light cattle go together. Maybe you sell a mixed load, heifers and steers. They're not going to bring the same amount of money as the guy with 300 head of steers that weigh 500 pounds. It's not normally going to happen, okay? Same with yearlings. You need 60 to weigh 800 pounds, 50 to 1,000 pounds. Large numbers sell best. I've got one customer, this last year we sold 3,000 yearlings for him. The year before we sold 5,600 yearlings for him. Just, it's incredible the prices those cattle bring. The quality's there. He's been selling with us for a number of years. The breed type is right, and his breed type is not Black Angus. It's half. Black Angus Shortleg calves. Breed type is important, and I don't care what your breed is. Try to focus on one or two. If you got 3 or 4 breeds in there, you can sure see it affect your sale. I think people like to see predictability in cattle. I think if I'm a buyer sitting here looking at all this stuff, you know, you agent source verified, your NHTC, you've had black cattle, red cattle, whatever for years. You put a lot of work into this deal, and you're progressive because you did the agent source verification. You did your preconditioning shots. You were probably progressive when you bought those bulls and selected your heifer replacements or purchased them. And it's going to show when they come to the scale and when they get on the truck and when they get to the feedlot. That's my perception of what buyers think. And if you got 4 or 5 breeds there, they probably figure you're just experimenting and probably don't know exactly which direction you're going. It's probably going to reflect in your vaccination program and your herd management. Multiple owner lots, I've sold them. My biggest challenge in my career was driving to Utah, which is 350 miles, about the same as for me driving from Dillon to Powell. 7 owners, 3 loads of cattle. I had a load of big steers weighing 650. That was pretty easy. They cut all their big steers out, brought them to me. I had a load of light steers and a load of light heifers, and what a cluster. It was something to get through, to get everybody's check figured out just for what they brought, where the cattle went. Tried to explain to them exactly what I had done to them with slides and shrinks, and I've done it. Their cattle sold pretty good, really. We did a good job putting them together. The cattle looked like, you know, fairly even when you got done. It was great.
Did you have to weigh them on the truck or on the ground?
On the ground. Yeah, it'd be just about impossible to do it on the truck, but it's probably been done.
It could have been worse.
I do have another customer that we sell 1 mixed load for. We got to go weigh there's no scales. We load the steer, weigh the truck, go back, load his steers, drive back over to this dairy, weigh them, go back and get the heifers on the same truck and weigh them, and then go from there. It's interesting. I pay my dues for the ones that I get the mixed load from, for the guy that I sell 5,000 for, and they both get charged the same commission. If you're selling a mixed load, this is a pretty rough figure, but it's close. I'm usually gonna tell you, hey, the steers are selling for this, automatically your heifers are gonna bring 10 cents a pound less. Okay. So if your steers brought $1 that day, your heifers are gonna bring 90 cents.
They gonna be that way this spring too?
Yeah, I think so. I've seen situations where somebody has a reputation heifer calves, they'll outsell the steers, depending on the market. I don't see people jumping in this thing right now, wanting to grab these heifer calves and breed them. I think it'll come a little later. Nobody wants to put $200 a ton hay in there. For a cow. Maybe somebody else got to figure out how to do it. And I got some comments to make to you guys starting. I think you're just trying to get started more.
More.
Yeah. That's where I was. Still am. Go ahead. Okay. I'm trying to recommend to you guys a video. I don't care if you use my company. Maybe you know somebody in your area that it's a different company. If you're happy with them, use them. Our company has a large buyer base. Over 6,000 buyers are going to see your cattle at once. When we have a sale, it's on the TV on our FD channel. You can view it also on your computer. You can bid on your computer. The other ones do too. Okay. The option, the best thing is this right here. Make that decision that you're ready to sell, knowing these cattle might be worth more later. But if I got their high, if I can get one thing in everybody's head to take home, do that. Don't get stubborn. Your cattle aren't going to be ready to ship typically when I'm working with you. I'm out filming your calves that are hitting the ground today or a month from now or at Brandon time or in June. Okay, it's a couple months off. So you're going to have to come up with some weights, you know, what your cattle have weighed, what you think they're going to weigh, when you want to deliver, that kind of thing. But you got to start thinking now for next year, or for this year now, sorry. This is important. If you sell to anybody for a couple of years, they're going to get confidence in what you're selling, or they're not either. I mean, they might figure you out and think, boy, that guy's a dink. I ain't buying calves from him again. Hell, we never got done weighing until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I weed them. Any of my sellers are like that. I weed them out. If you can't get the cattle loaded by noon, you better move along. Payment and delivery are guaranteed. I have yet to see one of our contracts fold that was followed to the letter. And what I'm saying there is, if you sold calves with a VAC 45 program and they weren't weaned for 45 days, that buyer, he can get out of that, and he should be able to. You didn't deliver him what you said you were going to. We've never ran out of money. I hope we don't. I'm the guy that comes and gives you your check on sale day too, so you can go to the bank and put her in there. You get a down payment this summer. These cattle can be viewed without being in person, and I'm saying, you know, at the sale barn watching the cattle come through. And I am not knocking sale barns at all. I support ours up the road. I gather cattle for them and send them up there. Some cattle need to go to a sale barn to best market. I want you to know that. Go ahead, Tony. And anytime anybody's got questions, sure do it.
What kind of category were you talking about that would be best sold through a barn?
Probably cattle that I'm saying smaller groups. Maybe they're uneven. Mixed colors, breeds,
Yeah.
horns. Probably better to go in there, split them up into the groups they belong in. The guys at the sale barn are good at sorting. Get your 6-weight calves sold over here, your 450 sold here, your 10 head of heifers sold this way.
When that corn market took a run,
Yeah.
did you have any contracts backed off because of that?
No, not one. I had a few grumblings. I may have had a complaint. I had some warnings a few years ago about feeder cattle selling at this price, and the day they deliver they're worth this much. The warning was, don't put anything on the truck that doesn't belong there. He said, you don't ever do it, but don't make a mistake. They can't, our company, they can't back out of the contract. Some of the other video companies, I have read their contract. It says on the back, in the circumstance you're asking about, corn goes up, feeder cattle fall 20, 30 cents, and they did in a couple weeks, easy. What happens is, this buyer's down payment that you have goes into escrow account. Thank you. Need an attorney. I need an ex-attorney. And the video company steps back, and they're out the door. You and the buyer fight over it. Not just this, but the whole contract. So you're left hanging out there to dry.
And the escrow can't disperse without a court order,
Yep. There you sit.
so it usually sell.
Yep. And I guess, here's my apple I'm throwing at you guys. I don't know how big your operation is or how big you want to get. But I hope you're aggressive marketers. That's going to give you a foot up on everybody. Okay? And I did it. Didn't have much to start with. They get out there and get those leases. You got to compete against him. I do the same thing. We just picked up a lease 150 miles from our house. And we weaned right after Christmas. Our cows won't calve till August. We got them kicked out on some grass. It's kind of a pain in the butt being 150 miles away, but the lease is good. But we had to move that far. The opportunity was there because I can't compete with him, or I've got a customer there that I sell 4,000 yearlings for, and he runs the operation for a guy from France that's very wealthy. They'll get out there and compete with me for those leases or buying a piece of property. Yes?
So in your opinion, the way the market is right now, if you're running your operation, you've got room to increase your numbers, should you be keeping every heifer and trying to buy as many as you can while these heifer prices are still relatively low and before everyone freaks out and starts rebuilding?
Gotcha. Yep.
And is there
I don't know if I
anything-
go buy the bred heifer at $1,700 right now.
But maybe a heifer calf and resign yourself to some hard work.
But yeah, I would. I really would. If you got the room, you got the feed, and if that's what you want to do. Part of what we do, you know, we can sit back here and argue the last 2 days. Why are you doing it? You do it because you want to, because you're making money at it. Well, by God, I'll tell you what, me and him gonna make money at it. Okay? And that's gonna be your first consideration when you're asking me that question.
And so the programs you're talking, I mean, we're already doing NHTC, we've got everything natural. I've heard a lot about that organic stuff. I mean, is it even worth going one step further and doing more paperwork and killing yourself over that? Or do you think?
I don't think you're gonna be marketing with me and getting a premium out of that. I think you're gonna, it may be worth it, but you're gonna have to come to this
Find
gentleman
your own
here that
buyer.
has a way to get rid of the organic meat and market it and get it out to somewhere.
So how much do you think that NHTC and agent source verification premium really is? I mean, sometimes you see it on the sales and
Yep.
sometimes you don't.
Okay. Our company did a study. The agent source verification, I believe, brought 6 cents.
6 cents.
Yeah, I think it was 4 to 6 cents. The NHTC brought like 4 extra cents.
Okay, so the two combined should be 10 cents, hopefully.
No, you're not gonna see that much. I would say 5 cents.
Okay.
Well, just figure 5 cents. And you gotta have the quality of cattle to go with that
Right,
too.
and what do you think, you were mentioning the Shar crosses, that's what we run as Black Angus Shar
Yeah.
cross. And you think those are actually a good way to,
Yep. Feeders love them.
they don't grade out too bad, they grow.
No,
good.
they do good. They're great on feed efficiency. They grade good, and they get big. You know, 5 to 10 years ago, we were getting told, we want this animal that fits in this box just right. They're gonna be no bigger than 1,200 pounds when they die. And they're gonna grade choice and a few primes and so on and so forth. Tell you what, the feeders are still selling pounds. They want that 1,400 pound critter.
Our biggest problem though is we have black bulls, so we have some black calves and some Shars.
Yeah.
And trying to get the groups to match is just, I mean,
A
you're
nightmare.
gonna have an 800-pound Shar and a 600-pound black, so you just start splitting blacks and Shars when you sell them, or you just? roam and
That'd be
keep
the
them happy.
best in the best world. How many cattle you got? That's a nosy question, you're not supposed to ask.
About 450.
So can you sell a load of Charolais steers and a load of black steers, or is it doesn't?
Probably could, but it seems like we've got, you know, 2/3 heifers. We're having
Mhm.
horribly high heifer numbers, and we usually try to keep as many as we can that are black.
Yeah.
And run over, so,
Why do you have the black bulls in there?
to make the black heifers.
Okay. And have you thought about buying bred heifers and going all Charolais? I mean,
Consider it.
I guess I would think of that.
What we usually do is we breed all of our replacement heifers to the black bulls.
Sure.
And then after that, everything goes to Charolais.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. I have never seen a group of Charolais Angus with a few black cattle in there. I've never seen that affect the price.
okay.
So, as long as those, I guess I would worry more about getting those smaller black calves up in size, you know, if you can do some AI and maybe.
And that's why we went to the stars, was our black cattle were just
Yeah.
down in the weight so bad.
Okay, what kind of quality bulls do you buy?
We usually buy the black ones are all the Sitz Alliance bulls, and then the stars we have are all off the Eaton Ranch.
Okay, so you're buying pretty good genetics.
Mhm.
How come your blacks are so much smaller? It's just because they're other heifers?
I think it was we were starting to get, because we were keeping all our replacements,
Yeah.
and I think that we were just starting to get a decline in that, and we
Mhm.
needed to switch our bull genetics up and start.
So the hybrid vigor really is working for you.
Right.
The blacks are out over heifers too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that was kind of the problem, is we needed to switch up some of
Yeah.
our black if we kept that
Or else
direction.
calve those heifers a month early. Or
Yeah,
month and a half.
if you can, yeah. I guess I would stick to the program just and know that maybe you're selling 30% blacks and they're smaller, it's gonna affect your price some.
But
If
it's
it
gonna-
works for your operation and do what you're doing best, do it. You don't wanna be buying bred heifers, I can tell.
No.
Okay, no, that's good. Don't, stick with what you're doing. Maybe AI some of those calves. I've noticed in my heifer calves, AI has brought those calf weights up to the older cows.
See, because our neighbor, he runs quite a bit of cows. He had a whole bunch of heifers. He AI'd all of them, and his breed up on the AI was 35%. I mean, it was just
That's a wreck, and it's not cheap.
No,
But
it's
AI
not.
is
So
not
that was
cheap.
kind of, we were like, you've got the bulls, why would you want to put that much more work and money into your cows? And
For that, I wouldn't, no way, no how. You need to find a good vet tech. I don't know how to tell you to do that. Gen X has been really good with us. Gen X and Superior have made kind of a
Yeah,
commitment.
I'm sure it's good. I've never seen it work yet. So
Yeah.
the day I do, maybe I'll believe it a little more.
We did a timed breeding. First we used, a couple years ago, we did cedars, and pull them out. They're in for 7 days, pull them out for 2. Somebody can help me with this. Give them a shot, breed. Year before last, see, we do everything in the wrong time of year anyway. It's November 1st, we're breeding. We left cedars in for 14 days, pulled them,
19 days later.
skipped that heat, went to the next one, gave them a shot of Little Eyes, and bred them. Our conception rate was better with that 14-day cedar routine than the 7-day. So we did it again the next year, and we were down to 50% breed up on the AI. Before we would get 65. And one year we had 100% of our heifers bred between the AI and natural service. And we're talking that year 100, 150 heifers. This year we didn't AI at all. And the reason was it's so damn dry, our heifers really got stressed. And we just decided not to even bother with it. So I think AI is good under the right circumstances. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. But I wouldn't change your breeding program. I think the hybrid vigor's working for you. You got to
Yeah.
sell pounds.
Well, and what we do is we just actually kick our heifers out on an irrigated field, and
Mhm.
if they don't get bred, they're never going to.
Yep.
So.
That's all right. Yeah. And breed them on a short-term basis, probably 45 days or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anything that I'm telling you, you guys got to make fit your program. Okay. I'm making suggestions, and that's the best thing I do when I go out to other people. Is I can see their operation. I think I analyze it in just a couple minutes, and I can make suggestions how best to market what they have. And I get a lot of questions like that. The biggest question I get, and it might be on one of our slides, what's the best sale of the cattle on? Be honest, Hell, I don't know. Okay? Sometimes Steamboat Springs is just hog wild. Sometimes it's not the best one. You guys gotta plan ahead. And I think, yeah, here it is. Thank you. Plan at least 2 weeks ahead. It takes that long to get them filmed and get them in a catalog. I was gonna bring my catalog and I forgot about it. But anyway, a lot of you have probably seen it. You can look the catalog up on the internet nowadays. But plan ahead. Plan a couple months ahead. Hell, if you know you're going out on some gnarly old forest permit where you're only gonna see 10 of those cows, film them when you have a chance to get a good picture of the cattle. Save it. I don't think any video rep in the country would ever charge you for filming the cattle and later on you didn't sell them with them. But he's got that film. I do that a lot. I'll tell people that it's a sales gimmick. I get on your place to film them, it's not going to cost anything. We get to visit a little bit about it, and you might not sell them this year with me, but by next year you're ready. A lot of people are nervous about this, especially the older generation, guys. Right? No? Okay.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Do your buyers provide you back carcass data of the sale of your?
Not as a normal routine. Some of them I can call and they'll give it to me. Some of them I'll call and they say, I have no idea. I just fed your cattle and sold them. I don't even know where they went. Some will say, no, I really don't want to share that. It's an individual basis. If we got a program up there, and I know it gets down into Wyoming, verified beef. They'll come do your agent source verification, and they'll follow those cattle through the feedlot and through the packing house, and they're pretty successful. I'm going to say 85% get you carcass information, feeding information back, and it costs you an additional $2 or $3 a head. So a lot cheaper than trying to feed some cattle to find out what they're doing.
That's one of the better tools you can get a hold of in a good long-term breeding program.
Yes, I agree with you. Well, and one thing, I don't know if it's the same down here. I'm gonna say this. Where I'm at, we got pretty good cattle. I think they probably feed better than cattle out of Mississippi, Missouri, New Mexico. Okay, yours probably do too. It's nice to know where you're at.
Trying to go back.
We can. I can't remember what was back there.
That's where we were.
Oh, yes, something important. With our modern, and this might talk to modern marketing techniques, the video sale has been around for 25 years. That's more than the age of quite a few of the people in here. The cost to sell is basically 2%. Okay, so time I write the check out, I'm taking 2%. Things we got to think about are delivery date. You know, do you usually sell or deliver your calves the 20th of October, 1st September, so on and so forth? Delivery weight. A lot of people just sit there and scratch their head. My God, they weighed 625 last year. The year before that, they weighed 615. Do you think we should put them at 635 or 610? Or because they're always worried about the slide. How many of you guys worry about a slide?
That's why it's there.
I just finally figured that out this year, and it still confuses the heck out of me.
Slides are easy. They're not made to steal your cattle. They're made to, if your cattle have a good year, to even the
That's
play.
not a real one.
You guys see that? How about this one? Is that real? Yep. Okay. They're made to even the playing field in case your calves come in instead of weighing 6 or 635.
But what if my calves are 15 pounds lighter? I'm not benefiting the same way the buyer
You're
is.
sure not.
Which is why I get so confused about it, because it really will hurt you. And
Because I know another video company had the slide work 2 ways. If they're heavy, the price goes down. If they're light, the price goes up. And they found out they had buyer resistance. They wouldn't bid on the cattle. I'm sorry. That's the way it's going to be.
well, that makes you really sit there and question how you're going to weigh or market your cattle, because
Yeah.
you better be a pretty good judge of what they're going to be at that time of year.
You got to be a good judge, but I would say most of you in May, you kind of got an idea what the climatic conditions are, you know, and that's a big word for me, if it's going to rain or not. I mean, by then, if it's been dry for quite a while, you're probably in trouble. So I would just say lower the cattle weight down a little bit.
The other way to look at that is you can extend your delivery date. You can say delivery date between November 1st and November 28th.
Yeah,
And then you'll have a better chance to evaluate.
Adjust it.
So-
Well, this year it was different, because normally we always sell them October 22nd on
Sure.
the dot, we know what they weigh, no big deal.
Yeah.
This year, we're like, no, we're gonna hold them over, we didn't sell them until January.
yeah.
How much did they gain in that time frame? Were we feeding them enough, or too much, or, you know, so that was.
You got a set of scales at home?
We don't, we were weighing them on the truck.
But you got to wait then. You knew.
We.
I mean, when you weaned them, did you have a weight?
Mhm.
No. So yeah, you don't have any
Guessing.
information.
So maybe I shouldn't have thrown so many rocks on that truck when it went away.
That's right. Don't you wish you would have sold them when the corn was down here, stood up here, and the price of feeder cattle was up here? Even if you would have off 30 pounds on your weight.
We actually sold them for the same price we could have sold them back then. Or
That's
we
good.
had them sold in June on a video auction and no-sailed them, and we actually sold them for the same price in
No,
January.
you didn't get that.
We didn't do too bad.
Yeah. Because the price hasn't really recovered from what, well, June, maybe May was just outstanding. I ramble along. Like I said, I am not a professional speaker. I'm a BSer, so. And I'm gonna make that. Does everybody know how a slide works, or want to know, or care? Essentially this, if your cattle are supposed to weigh let's say they're supposed to weigh 600, and you get $1 for them, and they end up weighing 625, well, you're not going to get $1. It's going to be a little less depending on your slide, but they're going to bring more money. I mean, these are going to bring $6.15, and at $1, these are about $600. So don't complain or whine that your calves went into the slide. Be tickled to death. You got more dollars per head, okay? That's a simple explanation of it. What sucks is what you're talking about when they come in weighing 570. You're still getting $1. You lost pounds. There's nothing you can do about it. You couldn't predict they're going to weigh 570. May, in July, or a week before you sold them, because you haven't weighed them or anything, you don't know. So that part's tough. I agree with you. I've been there. These are some things we're going to go over. I won't go through all of them. Has anybody got any questions about anything that's up there? Weights, color, creek type?
I got one. In that Montana area you're in, you're obviously seeing some Simmental cross kittens, aren't you? Black Simmental.
Very few.
Oh, really? I thought there was quite a few.
My guys in Utah, the 7 people with 3 loads, they got them. Good cattle. You know, there are some breeders. Hagenbar's got some up there.
I know a lot of guys are looking at that heterosis and they're wondering what breeds to use.
Yeah, and they can still keep their cattle black.
Yeah, well, you know, the Charolais work really well, the feeders really like them. They
Yep.
also love those Sim Angus calves.
Yep.
And you get their black, so you get the black disease that everybody has.
You bet.
Didn't Superior just go in with Bulls of the Big Sky and the Simmental Association, a partnership?
Yeah.
I don't know. They may have. I might have missed it though.
I think that Superior's doing something with Bulls of the Big
Bulls
Sky.
of the Big Sky. Is that Montana then?
It's in Billings, it's at Simmental,
Oh.
or percentage.
Oh.
sale.
I'm glad you educated
I
me.
think
Albert.
they're doing a sale like a bred heifer sale, isn't that right? The
Yeah,
Bulls
I'm
of the
not,
Big Sky and the
I don't
Superior.
know that much about it, I just know Superior has something to do with that
Oh.
sale, and they're supposedly gonna offer premium
For this.
selling up through Superior sale.
Oh, good. And they're going to have one sale they put them on probably.
I don't know
I
the
would
details,
guess.
I just know that there's some sort of a partnership there.
Okay. Good. I'll try to find out myself. Let's go to the next slide. All right. If you can take this home to your kids, your dad, whoever, or use it yourself, this is what kept me in business and made me grow, as I did this. I didn't wait for the cattle bar to come along. I consigned the cattle. Sometimes I sold cattle I thought it was pretty cheap. I remember selling for 75 cents a pound once. It's quite a while ago. God, it hasn't been 15 years ago. People said, you're crazy. They're going to come up from that. Well, they didn't. They were at 45 cents before we got done. It was enough to pay my bills. Kept me going. And that one there. I'm trying to get you guys to watch the markets before the sale. Watch afterwards, too. And the reason for that is see if there was something that you could have done. You know, you picked your time, you thought it was the best, that's great. But see what other people are doing and why they're getting maybe more. Was it just that the market went up, the feeder cattle futures went up? Best time you can sell is when the feeder cattle futures are up. The market's up, sell them. You don't always know when the top is. But these are important steps. Consign the cattle, film the cattle, and sell the cattle. And then later on deliver them. You'll be nervous first time you ever done it if you've never done it before. How many people in here have been involved in video sales? I know 1, 2. Good results, happy, not happy, happy. Good. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's
I
the
guess I
last one.
kind of covered a lot of that.
Yep. Trying to talk about no sale.
Cost of a no sale. I've seen a lot, and you're lucky. A lot of times I've seen guys saw it this summer, no sale, cost them $3 a head. That's the, it comes out of your pocket. You can see right here. Keep no sailing on a video sale. These guys remember who you are. Hey, I bid on those cattle the last sale. I'm not going to bother again. I bid all I could. They blew me away. That hurts. Okay. And what else we hit, and we saw it this summer, we're still, some of us stung by it, is that extreme market fluctuation. Corn went up, that cattle market went down, and it didn't take long to do it.
There are some internet sales and video sales that actually allow you to no sell them 3 times before you get charged fees.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
What we do is we set it up, if before your cattle sell, if the market is taking a dump and you don't want to sell, you can scratch them off of there, put them in one of the next 2 sales, and we don't charge. If you try to sell them on that sale and don't like it, and it's your auction, and you've got to have this option, you decide not to sell them, they're going to get charged. If you put them on the next sale and decide to sell them, great, but you still lost that $3 from the last one. If you decide to don't sell them the second time, it's another $3.
I guess what I was pointing out is there are differences in internet and video auctions as well.
Right.
So that's part of your marketing strategy, is check out which one works best for you.
Thank you.
Because there are quite a few.
Could we have an internet sale that is an auction? You're going to get charged $3 if you don't sell. We also have a country page, and if you put them on there and list them at your price, it's $1.50 for 600 pounders. You don't get that price. It doesn't cost you. So that is our other option that works. And who is that does that?
Big Blue.
Oh yeah. Big Blue.
Big Blue.
Or no, it's Moo.
Check
Don't
that
they moo?
website. Big Blue auction.
Yeah.
You've checked that website, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, we got a salesman in our area. Bobby Sitz.
Yeah.
Sitz Angus Ranch. He's the rep. Go ahead.
That's it.
That's all of it. Each time we use it.
Before you quit, can I ask you a quick question?
Absolutely. All you
I'm
want.
sorry. We got
No.
a lot of young minds here.
Yes.
You obviously, in your own personal operation, you market your cattle so that you're calving in the fall. Can you tell us what your advantages and disadvantages to not marketing, but calving in the fall?
Bet. Remember, we're talking about heifer, Wagyu, bulls. You know, we don't calve our heifers. We turn them out in 600, 1,200 acre fields. We don't have labor in the cabin. We don't calve the cows either. We turn them out. If I want to go see some baby calves, I'll take my 4-wheeler out, dump some salt out for them. I lost a heifer last year that died. I thought it was calving. The guys renting the grass from said no, that was lightning. So that's 1 cow in 5 years.
Well, and then there's the you're at Benson's.
Yeah, we had 2, but we lost that. We had a
Like
bad,
3 or 4.
yeah, we had an AI wreck there. Could have used some help then, couldn't we? Yeah.
So you think that by calving in the fall, you don't have to assist your heifers as opposed to calving in the spring?
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Yeah, the calves are smaller. There's more advantages too. That's the labor calving. I'm hitting a different market. 600-pound steer May 1st is worth a pile of money. Okay. I make my cows work really hard. We calve August 10th. We're going pretty good. October 10th we're done. 20th October, get them home to I own a section of hay ground. It's the only cheap feed I own that I don't have to pay for. Put them on there, flush them, breed them. We wean this year the day after Christmas. In a normal year, I probably would have fed those pairs 30 days. This year, we had to start in November because of the drought. Breeders stopped feed. I'm not keeping a cow around stuffing hay in her all winter, and that's the big thing. We can usually find some winter feed that doesn't have to be very good, just something to keep them alive till May, when we can turn out on summer pasture. So there's 3 advantages: calving, labor, winter feed cost, and the market.
What kind of body condition have you got on your cows when you finally calved in August, having had your summer to
5s and 6s.
Really?
Yeah. They'll just blossom. When we turn them out on summer grass, they're probably 3s.
You're turning bulls in then?
No, November 1st, we usually turn bulls in. That can get tough. We're in a mild climate. My November 1st idea is by Thanksgiving, we can usually hit some cold weather and some storms, so I can get 1 breeding cycle in by Thanksgiving. These last 2 falls have been nice till middle of December, so our breed up is, last year, across the board, the worst we've ever done is 90% on everything. We're usually about 95% bred. We did go more than 60 days before, though. We're trying to cut it to 60 days. What we do, our cutoff is we wean and we pull the bulls out that day. Okay. Bulls are in 60 days, at least the bulls. They're gone. I haul them away that day. I kind of lost track of what I was going to tell you.
Calves are 4 months old when we wean them.
Yeah, they're 4 months old. We wean them. They weigh 400 pounds. Put them in the feedlot. We got a feedlot there to feed them. I can feed that calf way cheaper than I can feed the cow with them and get the same gains. Those are our big advantages to fall cattle. And I can lease bulls. How many of you guys got bulls standing around 1st of November doing nothing? Now there is a downside. You know, we trick test in and we trick test out. Okay, that's something that could rear its ugly head and kill us. The other thing about our range cabin is predators have wolves in there. They don't eat the calves. They'll go up and eat the 500-pound calf. And the trapper told me the reason is the energy the wolf's going to expend. He'd rather go chase this 500-600-pound calf down, get him down and eat him instead of a 100-pounder. That's the, I don't know if you call it mentality, but the instincts of the wolf.
Well, at least they eat it.
Yeah.
I thought they just killed it.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah. Any other questions? Well, I hope I covered this all right and didn't befuddle anybody too much. Thank you very much.